not drawn specifically to cut us out or to pack us in or to make sure they get more Republicans here and there, which we'll be able to do because a million more people that will vote the way for the things that Floridians want, which is reasonable criminal justice reform, education for all, healthcare for all. If we can do that, then we can change the way Florida looks. So this isn't just about giving somebody their rights. We're talking about changing the entire landscape of Florida. And I know, I gave them 2 minutes on the tape, but I think we also need to think about exactly what this restoration was. We are one of the few states in the union that still has this bill, this law on the books. This is there are 3 left to have. This is the Jim Crow era rule, Jim Crow era. This was back when all blacks lived in one area, and what the police would do is they would go in right before elections, arrest up everybody for loitering, right, or public intoxication, because just as you're sitting under the tree, to make sure that they had a little something on their record, so they couldn't vote, so therefore the commissioner that had that area, or the council person, or whatever, or the state representative had that area, we didn't get in there and vote for somebody right. And that's why this rule was put on the books. That is exactly why, that was the impetus, and yet we still have it here in 2018. How backwards Florida can be sometimes.
Just a quick question for you. How many seats do we need to take over the state senate?
5. We're at 16 of 40 right now. If we can get to 21, which let me tell you, there are 7 seats in play right now. 7 seats that either Hillary Clinton won or came close to winning last cycle. 8 seats that Barack Obama won that are up for re-election this cycle in the state of Florida. 8 seats that we don't have, that somebody Republican is sitting in, that Barack Obama won twice. And so we have an opportunity if we step up and vote as, and we can put Andrew in, and we can possibly take back the state senate.
Yeah. Thank you. And remember when I talked to you guys earlier, saying we have power? We have power. We're just sitting on that power. We're sitting down. If we can turn those counties blue those districts blue for President Obama, for Hillary, what's the difference? Because it's not a presidential election cycle, we sit down? Now, I do want to make a comment about the restoration of rights. We have a lot of people that are volunteering right now that do not have their rights. So when someone asks you, what can I do? Tell them to go get 10, 20 people that vote on their behalf. Exactly. On November 6th. Yes, sir. You wanted to comment on that?
Absolutely. Representative DeVos said about the narrative. He used that word. We need to keep that. Senator Brayton speaks about the seats. Again, man, power is built with clarity, personal clarity, when you understand your power. Because those who are in power will attempt to make you believe you're powerless. You need to maintain power. So, I'm going to toss in another phrase that hopefully we run across this step. Here's the mathematics. We have Democrat, Republican, we have Hillary, we have Bernie Sanders. All of these things causes us to stalls us, because we're going to have debates, conversations about this thing, that thing. Now, why not Bernie? And all the while we're doing that, we're losing power. I want to introduce another phrase. I heard a blue wave. Let a blue wave flow through the rest of the country. One more time. Let the blue wave flow through the rest of the country. In Florida, how about we have a Gillum wave? Let me tell you why. Because we get to maintain power. If I have a Gillum wave, I'm not going to stop. I don't care what the rhetoric is. I don't care what the mailings say. I am going to elect Andrew Gillum as the next governor of Florida. I'm focused, I'm laser focused. I must float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. But in doing that, statewide, we have the opportunity now If we're focused on that, not going to even debate on that. It's Andrew Gillum, no matter what you say, Andrew Gillum, Andrew Gillum. Regardless of what the question is, when we're smart enough to do that, we will have Andrew Gillum elected. But the electorate that puts Andrew Gillum in the governor's mansion, now we begin to work locally to make sure, city by city, county by county, seat by seat, we have everybody else drive that way into those seats. They will happen to be Democrats. They will happen to be good vetted public servants, but they follow that Gillum way into that seat. And we will take the House, and we will have people, I'm gonna stop here, I don't even like to call them laws. Folks don't understand that in my community. We're talking about folks making laws against you. They understand rules. As long as you allow someone else to make rules for you, they make rules for them. And if you don't like the rules, change the rule maker.
No, change the rule maker. Okay, this question is for our representative. President Trump reversed an Obama era. Okay, President Trump reversed an Obama era executive order that placed common sense training and supervision requirements on local law enforcement when they apply to obtain surplus weapons and equipment from federal agencies such as U.S. Department of Defense and Justice. How does this affect policing and community relations in Black and brown communities?
All right, let's just take a look at this. In regards to this order, President Obama, this order came as a result of the riots in Ferguson. And so we're talking about surplus equipment. We're talking about equipment that's old. We're talking about equipment that can be faulty. So what happens is when people assemble and they have the right to do so in a peaceful march, it depends on the color of their skin, is the result of how our police, our armed forces are going to show up. We see it all the time. If the individuals that are peacefully protesting are of a lighter color, and then the response tends to be more peaceful. But it could be with people of color, and they come out in all this gear, these guns, and they're shooting off these weapons, bean bags, tear gas, and so forth. So the reversal of this order, it tends to make a certain portion of this population feel safer, whereas an all-out attack on people of color again. And I'm just